Do any of you have children who play games in virtual reality? Do any of them use virtual headsets? An example would be the Oculus Quest is one of the more common ones. Have any of you used a virtual headset for anything? And my confession here is I started with a virtual headset just about a year ago. And that was my entry into virtual headset world. So I have not entered into it in the gaming world, but in the learning experience world. None of us in this room have much control where virtual reality and the metaverse are headed. Your children, however, are the ones that are driving the adoption of virtual reality in education and the workplace. As Terry Hart's book says in Hardwired to Learn, she suggests that the fourth industrial revolution and its double disruptions of technology and the pandemic are rapidly changing the world of work and the way we learn and the way that we teach. Virtual reality is just one of the key technologies being ushered in via the fourth industrial revolution.
This idea of meaning in the metaverse, if you are into buzzwords, I'm going to address some of the buzzwords today and then try to get beneath the surface. What is actually the meaning? I personally think the fifth industrial revolution will be taking all of this knowledge that we have, including computer science. We're at this point where we can really build more meaning and intention and well-being with our technology.
Yeah, this is really helpful. And I did not know what Metaverse was when Marty brought this up 2 weeks ago, and I felt embarrassed, but this happens all the time. I'm normally fall behind. But why I think this is important for us is it's a trend that's happening in business. It's not only happening with our kids, but earlier this week, I was drinking my coffee and the morning news said Walmart is quietly getting into the Metaverse for business transactions.
So, Caitlin, you mentioned just a moment ago that voice carries emotion and we can somehow sense that, but so does facial expressions. So micro expressions and what we actually see on other human beings. And so how does that carry over in the virtual space through avatars that they're not the same somehow? So
my question is the problem that people aren't using the tools, but there's a great use case right now? Is it a problem that we don't have a great use case yet? Or is it a problem that we don't have the right tools?
And as such, we start talking to our teams about development planning, skill, acquire different types of skill, et cetera. So what technologies or skills should L&D professionals acquire in the next 12 to 24 months, I would say, to be able to create content tied to the metaverse? I feel like we're really taxing our L&D folks by asking them to learn a lot of non-traditional technologies and apply them in a instructional design type of environment, as you've seen the shift from PowerPoint to Adobe to e-learning. Now there is a huge focus on video and audio for storytelling, which is part of the learning experience. But frankly, I feel like we're asking our folks to become techies, right? That really have to be able to understand computer programming, computer design, et cetera, so they can build those experiences. So I'm curious as your thoughts on what technologies, as I said earlier, should we be thinking about learning and potentially give our folks the opportunity to learn?